that's what our channel's about. That's what our channel's going to be about. It's going to be about following us, going in our mad, crazy, kind of out there life. What we found that gives us more peace and more, connection to each other and to everything else. We'll talk about all kinds of things. We'll do. Essentially, it's about being with us in nature, in the kitchen, facilitating our whole food diet, growing our own crops for food, visiting our neighbours who are artists and producers of dairy and honey and all kinds of things. I think the wind has gone down.
I suppose
is it possible?
We're just trying to show that there is an alternative way to live.
We're not the only ones living this alternative life.
No, of course not. There's so many people who are doing it.
We're fast running towards a technological kind of...
We just feel that people are saying they're more connected than we've ever been before. Our world is connected. You can send this video to anybody on the planet.
It's amazing.
It's just who has an internet connection and a phone. But we're the most disconnected we've ever been as a species. We're
isolating with our...
We're tribal animals, and yet we're so disjointed that we don't have time to connect with loved ones for even a half an hour call. We're too busy. Everything is too busy. I have no time. Well, what are we all doing? We're rushing towards the grave.
We're just becoming more efficient at rushing. We're becoming more efficient at rushing around to the next rush, to the next thing that needs to be got, the next thing that needs to be got, the next thing that needs to be achieved, the next. And that's the ego, and it's in full flow.
The ego is dominating our world right now to such a crazy degree, and his currency is fear. That's what he deals in, and he's so good at it. We're going to try and poke a hole in his plans.
Yeah.
And
whoever wants to come along.
Yeah.
For the ride.
We're
contact us in any way, and just we're hearing more and more about people just seeking out alternative ways of living, and it's so rewarding.
The simple life, it's so funny because we all kind of look our noses down on the simple life, the olden days, and oh God, those people were so provincial and not very smart, and I think they were smarter than us. I think they realised that...
Definitely more connected and definitely more self-sufficient.
But if you don't have the basics correct, then all you're doing is putting more and more expensive and luxurious icing sugar on a crappy cake. There's all icings and sprinkles and decorations, but if the cake isn't nice...
You're not ever going to be fulfilled. You're never going to be satisfied.
No one's going to want to eat just a ball of icing. Or frosting, or whatever it's called.
And we're not, of course, never advocating, let's just go back to the caves, or let's go back to this agrarian existence.
No.
Really a basic. Yes, there should be agrarian aspects to it, but with the technology that we have managed to geniusly create, so we have it in our service rather than us being in the service of it, being slaves to everything technological, and and thinking that connection is through some kind of device. Our children are growing up without basic abilities, but abilities to connect and to read faces and to read social cues, because these things are so addictive, and that's not their fault.
It's not their parents' fault either.
It's not their parents' fault either, because they're
tired after working a 40, 50-hour week, and they just want to relax or go to a restaurant and just talk to some more adults, and they don't have time or the energy, and so it's just easier just to give your tablet, your phone to your child, and it's wrong, but you just do it. And that's
because you have to have time for you too.
That's
you
not fair,
have to be.
We're being put into situations. The majority of Western world adults are being put into situations where they're having to choose to do these awful decisions where no one's winning, no one's benefiting.
We're all playing a shit game, but no one's winning. Not even the people with more money and with more...
That's the sad thing. I always think, we're living a pretty meager existence. We've been 10 years living on a shoestring of a shoestring, which has been really an interesting project. It was completely our decision. And it's taught us humility and connectivity with people and just so many skills that we picked up along the way. But what I don't understand, and we're very lucky because we live in the countryside, in a very, very small house, but we're very happy. And what I don't understand though is that the people out there who are running the show, the guys who are in such positions of power that they really are puppeteering the planet, they're not even happy themselves. If they were at least fulfilled, if the royalty of the world, and I don't necessarily mean the actual kings and queens, but the kings of commerce, if they really were happy, then maybe you'd think, well, the serfs, you know, they play their part, this world is not for us, this is all just for the elite kind of peeps. But they're not even fulfilled. They're just as empty as the rest of us.
So more so.
But more so
because they have access.
They can't. Yes, in fact, they're the ones that the public really should pity, because if you have so much money, it's kind of like when you go to certain streaming sites that you pay monthly. I'm not going to plug anything, but you're there and you've got a Friday night and you're thinking, oh, let's watch a movie or something like that. And you can choose anything because it's all paid for. How many times have we, and we've even done it with close friends or family that we're excited to share a movie together. We've maybe spent an hour, maybe more, looking through.
Because there's so much
movie
choice.
Movie after movie. No, this isn't this. No, not this one. Yeah, but I don't. And so the problem is when you are spoilt for choice, everything becomes kind of, it loses its value. And I think that's the real problem with those of us, the 1%, is that they don't even, and then they have to lie, they have to pretend to each other, so they're all playing just like the rest of the world, that everyone's pretending, how are you? I'm fine, it's great. Everyone's just pretending like they do on social media. My life's perfect. Well, that's what these big guys are doing, but it's so much, the stakes are so much higher, and they really are, none of them can show their true faces and say, this is just awful. Just like the rock stars, when they come off stage and they feel that they can't be, everyone just wants to spend time with them and they just don't feel very interesting at all, They feel like a fraud, or comedians or something. We're all just pretending. We're pretending we're not pretending. And it has to stop. And we think that fear is at the root of all this. Because it's ego. Ego is the czar of the world, and he really bullies everyone, no matter how poor you are, and no matter how rich you are, no matter how old or young or gifted or lucky or fortunate in any way. The little children, I think the ego maybe doesn't torture as much, but then we go to school and we learn that, if you're different, that's wrong. You have to be in competition with everybody else. No one is special. You're all the same, and you have to shut up, sit down and sit up straight and bow down to the master at the top of the class, who themselves is lost. They don't know what they're doing. They might know their syllabus that they have to follow, but
they have things going on in their life, and they're stressed, and they're fearful, and they have to meet the mortgage, and they have to do. They have demands on them that they don't want. They're very tired.
It's just
trying to fulfill them all.
It's just too much for everyone, and it's
Let's be honest, guys. Let's just be honest. Let's actually be honest. Let's look in the mirror and see, what do I really want? Not even what do I really want. What do I really need?
Yeah.
To be at peace.
Just to not feel bad, not feel anxious.
And what we definitely don't need is more fear in the world. And that fear is just wreaking havoc. As I said before, it's the single most contagious virus and the most deadly virus.
It's destroyed more lives
ever been.
Than any, and it's still here. We haven't learnt to outgrow it and to rise above it. And just...
It's the next step in our evolution. technologically we can keep jumping. We must evolve spiritually. We must go within. We must venture within. We must connect to other people, to what it is that makes the trees grow, that makes a bird grow in an egg, to make a baby grow in a womb, and the grass grow, and the planets to spin. I don't want to hear this argument about chance. What created the matrix within which chance exists?
That's maybe for another.
That's probably for another video. There's so much to talk about. We've time.